Welcome to the City of Menifee Parks, Recreation, and Trails Commission meeting for Thursday, November 7th. It is 6 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Secretary, could we have a roll call, please?
Chair Faust.
Here.
Vice Chair Tremblay. Commissioner Ackerman.
Here.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Here.
Commissioner Peterson.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum, so I've asked Commissioner Sanchez to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone? Well, welcome everyone. We've got a great crowd of visitors, participants today, and I know we've got some special presentations, and so that'll lead us to agenda item number 4.1 presentations, NFL Flag Football League champions and coach recognitions.
Good evening, Commissioners. We're excited to share what an incredible youth flag football season that we've had. For 7 weeks, we got to watch our athletes learn sportsmanship, fundamental skills, and build lifelong memories. This season, we had 94 players, 14 coaches, 10 teams, and 2 divisions. At this time, we would like to invite the commissioners down in front so we can recognize all of our division leaders, our championship teams, and our coaches of the year. For our Division II, this is our Defensive Player of the Year, Luca Navarro, for the San Francisco 49ers. He had 7 interceptions. Our Division II Offensive Player of the Year will be Jacob Laban from the Rams. It's not here yet? Okay, we'll wrap back to Jacob. But Jacob had 11 touchdowns for the season. For our Division III Defensive Player of the Year, Logan couldn't be here tonight, but he is Defensive Player of the Year for his interceptions as well as his flag pulls. Our Offensive Player of the Year for our Division III will be Kevin Thompson II, with a total of 7 touchdowns for Division III. We would like to recognize Coach Kevin Thompson as the Division III Coach of the Year. Coach Thompson taught his players discipline, leadership, and respect for his opponents as well as their teammates. Some of his players have joined us tonight to celebrate him. Kevin Thompson II, Sebastian Gomez, Jace Reed, Damian Orozco, Dominic Bates, Bryson Rotes, Donovan Cintron, and Olivia Rodriguez. Please join your coach in the front to celebrate him. Thank you, Coach Thompson. We would also like to recognize Coach Otis Beatty as the Division II Coach of the Year. Coach Otis taught his players sportsmanship, IQ, And some of his players also joined him tonight to recognize him. So Romel Betty, Luca Navarro, Josiah and Ezra Castro, and Jacob Herrera, please join your coach in the front. Thank you, Coach Beatty. At the end of 8 weeks, we crowned a champion for our Division II. The Rams went undefeated this season. They played with heart and integrity. Coach Eldon and Coach Byron always led by example. We would like to recognize Coach Eldon, Coach Byron, and the Rams for our Division II champions. Thiago Armstrong, Ezekiel Gutierrez, Trevor DeLay, Adrian Garcia, Liam Cassham, Mario Satori, Jacob Laban, Joseph Garcia, and Byron DeBose III. Again, these are your 2024 NFL flag football champions. To all of our coaches, our athletes, the parents that got them there to every single game and practice, we thank you for a memorable season, and we look forward to the next one with you all. Thank you.
And on to our next presentation, I ask Chair and Commissioners to stay at the front while we recognize our CSD Employees of the Quarter. So as you know, we come together as a department to vote on some of our amazing coworkers and nominate them for this honor. So this quarter, 5 employees were nominated, and a review panel decided on 1 part-time and 1 full-time employee to recognize that demonstrate excellent customer service skills, teamwork, and initiative. So first, I would like to begin with our part-time employee of the quarter, Sarah Gibbon. You may also recognize and know her as Mrs. Rogers. So this is something that our nominators had to say about Sarah. Sarah has been a rock star helping prep for our annual Clean Air Day Expo. She has taken the initiative on researching and finding different types of electric vehicles or other transportation type services to encourage going green. While the goal was to fill 2 rows for the event, she managed to double that by her passion and determination, but mostly her innovation in thinking outside the box of different cars and vehicles that align with the mission of the event. On top of that, Sarah continued to give excellent customer service with all the different partners and resources. To say Sarah lights up a room is an understatement. She helps those that are shy come out of their shell, and she is always a great sport to jump into character, literally. She is always happy to help the department be Mrs. Rogers, a funny resident, or even an elf that's wandered away from Santa's workshop. Sarah has made an overall huge impact on her team. Congratulations, Sarah. Sarah, can I have you come up front to get your plaque? Once you get a chance. And then one more photo. One more photo. So our full-time employee of the quarter is Greg Jimenez. And at this time, I'm going to hand the microphone over to Bryce to say a few words. Greg, can you
right.
come up to the front?
All right, Greg. If all of you have ever seen Greg on, let's see, Instagram or anything on the city website, he's very mindful. That's him. Now, Greg is an excellent employee. He has some of the strongest work ethic that I know of out of any of my employees. He's so reliable when coming into work. He is one of the three guys that we have that manage over 6 million square feet of right-of-way landscape irrigation. So he's all over the city. He has his positive attitude. He comes in, his ideas that he gives, he's not scared to let you know, hey, we should try something a little bit different. That's Greg. And it's always worked out, so keep going with that, with your ideas and everything like that. Again, with your collaboration with everyone from working the events, he'll fill in at Independence Day, like it says on the screen for our PowerPoint. He's always there to pick up the extra slack, and he's well-deserved this employee of the quarter, so congratulations.
Congratulations, Greg and Sarah.
Thank you, everyone, and if you'd like to leave, we will not be offended. Awesome. We always appreciate recognizing the achievements of our citizens here in Menifee and our wonderful employees in the Community Services Department. We'll give just a second for the room to clear. Thank you. Thank you again, everyone. We're now at item 5, approval of the minutes, 5.1 October 3rd, 2024, regular meeting minutes. Any discussion on the minutes, any corrections that are necessary, commissioners? If not, can I have a motion to approve?
I might have, there's one item, my name is misspelled. Not that it matters, but That's the only thing I've got.
I'm sorry, what was that?
My name is misspelled in item 10, I believe.
Oh, okay. We can correct that for the record then. And so can I have a motion to approve as noted?
I'll move.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes have been approved. Any agenda approval or modifications, Ms. Jones?
We do have one correction to the fiscal impact section of item 8.1, which will be explained during that discussion item. The acres calculated should be 1.14 acres and not 1.41 acres.
Thank you. And we'll address that, point that out specifically as we get to that meeting. Do we have any public requests for public speakers?
No request to speak.
Okay. Going once, going twice. Okay, thank you. Then we'll move on to number 8, discussion items. 8.1, amended Quimby assessment for Quartz Trail, formerly Estrella Tract 36803. Ms. Mitchell, are you going to lead this? Okay.
All right, good evening, commissioners. So item 8.1 before you is something that we've seen previously. So originally, this project, which is now known as Quartz Trail, was formerly known as Estrella, and before that was known as Menifee 80. So this item was originally approved by a PRTC back in September 2023, and at that time, this project was 80 single-family units along with 80 ADUs that were going to be built to rent as separate units, so that the calculation was, the Quimby assessment was calculated on 160 single-family dwelling units. So the change is that this is how now gone back to a different developer. It's the project has been bought out, and it is going back to, reverting back to kind of a multi-generational single-family homes. So it's going back to the 80 single-family dwelling units. They will still have the accessory dwelling unit, but it will be sold as one product. And so that's really the major modification to this. So we're here before you to recalculate the Quimby assessment because there's less dwelling units that are being sold, so that does update the calculation. And so based on that, the required acreage has gone down to 1.14. And so the developer has asked for a couple considerations. We typically do allow for the credit of Quimby credit for HOA recreational amenities at 50%. And so currently now the project that's been redone a little bit, it still does include a playground area, picnic area, pickleball courts, drinking fountain, petway station, things of that nature. But instead of what previously was a community center or a pool, will now just kind of be a green open space. Previously, our Quimby does require the developer to appraise the value of 1 acre of land, which was done previously. So we have a couple different recommendations, but staff recommendation is to not include the open space simply because our Menifee Municipal Code is relatively clear when it comes to Quimby credit for HOA amenities, meaning it has to be active recreation space. The intent behind Quimby is for us to continue to grow and develop our own parkland, and then also mitigate the impact of these developments on existing parks. So that open space really wouldn't mitigate any of the impact on the neighboring parks within the area. So we're recommending the Quimby credit just for the half-acre playground area, which 50% is 0.25 acres, which would require the assessed Quimby fee to be $169,100. And so that does exclude the open space. The developer did want to request from PRTC to consider adding in that open space, which would then reduce the assessed Quimby fee to $125,400. So essentially, that's the details of the project, and open to address any questions that the commission may have.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Is any questions or comments, commissioners? Bill?
The open space, that's not multi-purpose field or anything, it can't be used for,
No, it's
activities.
just a green turf area with a walking path around it and bench seating around the walking area.
okay, thank you.
Commissioner Tremblay?
And the space that they're wanting to include, that's only accessible to HOA residents?
That's correct. It's only HOA, and it will be a gated community.
Any other commissioner comments? Yeah, this was originally was a rental type development where these houses and ADUs would be rented, and so it increased the density. And if you look at what the amenities that they originally had proposed that we had approved last year as part of their submittal, you know, recreation center and pools and stuff, and now it's just an open field. It's sad for the folks that are buying a home now. They're just getting a vacant field. But and I agree with staff's assessment and recommendation that we not allow the credit for that open field that really has no amenities at all. And so I'd ask for a motion to approve the staff recommendation of allowing just Quimby credit for 1.14 acres. Can I have a motion to approve or deny?
I'd like to make a motion to approve staff recommended Quimby credit.
A second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Motion's carried. We're at 8.2, Park Conceptual and Quimby Review for the Valor Park, formerly Banner Park 2 Tract 37671.
All right, I'll start with this one as well, and then if there's any questions about the park conceptual plan, Bryce Howell is here to help out with that, and we also have a representative from our developer, Brian Lung with Pulte. So before you we have is a tract that is known as Banner Park 2, which is just south of where our Banner Village Park is located at, off of Dominigoni. And this project is a carryover project from times of when it was Riverside County, and has gone through multiple iterations and some revisions. And during that process, at one point in time, the parkland is currently now under ownership for the city of Menifee. So that's a unique situation. Typically, when it comes to developments, we wait to accept the dedication of parkland once a park has been constructed. However, that's not the case with this situation, so it's a little unique. But this is 182 single-family dwelling units, and we're asking that Commission review and approve the park conceptual plan, which is on the next slide. But that this project will affirm that this project will meet Quimby Act requirements through the parkland dedication, which is about 3.06 acre neighborhood park. So in the required parkland for this based on the number of dwelling units is 2.59. So with that, we're going to move into the park conceptual plan. This really is a smaller park. It's a neighborhood park, just over 3 acres. Typical amenities like a tot lot with a shade structure, walking paths, turf, picnic shelter with grill, things of that nature. So again, we're open to comments or questions on the park conceptual plan, and ultimately we want to affirm that this project meets Quimby requirements based on the acreage.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. I might point out that this property is already owned by the city of Menifee. There's a utility right-of-way of gas from the gas company through the middle of that. That's why we end up with that long channel-like green space. And so this is at least allowing some type of recreation. This will be a public park, a city public park. It's not a part of an HOA. Any other questions or comments, Commissioner Tremblay?
Will this park have lights there?
There should be, as we're working with the developer to add walkway lights on where the playground is, and also onto the smaller section that's across on Cliff Park Drive.
Any other questions?
How many acres is Laladera Park? I want to get an idea of how the size of this park compared to that.
Laladera Park is 8 acres, I believe. But it's hard to say that because it is that acreage, but there is the large slope on Laladera Park, so where the walking trail goes around. So this one would be similar to Sunset Park, a little bit larger than Sunset. Like I'd say Silver Star Park is about the size of this park right there. You're welcome.
So we're getting city land that's has no other use. You can't build on it because of the right-of-ways. So it's and the developer is building the park to make some valuable use out of this area. And Any concerns or comments or questions regarding the Quimby calculation? Then I'll ask for approval of the park conceptual plan and certification that it meets the Quimby Act requirements for parkland dedication. Can I have a motion to that effect?
I'll motion.
A second? Seconded? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous, thank you. All right, we'll go to 8.3, Park Signage Project Conceptual Design.
Okay.
Bryce, okay.
As you all know, that this project for the park signage was approved in the CIP project this last fiscal year, going into it, as we've been working with getting new signs, designs and everything for our parks. So as you look at what's on the screen right here, this is what our parks have had for a few years. They're kind of outdated. It's just our park rules and regulations. At the parks, there's the park rules signs, you have your picnic shelter signs, there's sports field signs, so there's a lot of different signage. So we're looking to update all those. So as you can see on here, the sports courts, the picnic shelters numbers, field numbers, splash pad rules. So there's lots of different signs that we're trying to work with. So what we're trying to do is something a little different than just a square or a metal sign that you see. You see it at every single park that you go to. We're working with a designer that's actually going to, it's a composite, so it's a high pressure laminate that we're recommending, that we're going to be using. So what we're looking at here is it would be a composite 4x4 post, and then the signs that are going to be 2 feet by 3 feet, the same size as they were before is what we're looking at. But on top of them, and what we're recommending is having the map that's on top of the sign, so when you walk to the park, you're able to see, hey, where's field 1, or where's shelter 1 if there's multiple shelters, and then your address of the park. And then we condensed everything onto the park signage that will have you're just what you're following the rules of the park, you know. Also, there's that QR code that's on there, and that QR code will take you to the website, the city website, and it'll give you different options on there. If you wanted to look up the municipal codes, if you want to put in a work order, there's different items that we're going to have on that QR code, where to go if you need to rent a picnic shelter or field reservation. So that'll be on that QR code that's on there, and we'll have that QR code on multiple different ones. Now, what we're recommending, we're asking for your guys' recommendation for these signs is what you guys like. Do you like this square that we have that's on there? There's a little bit of design, or do you guys want to have something a little different where it has some curvature on it? So these signs are larger. They'll be at every entrance of the park. We have 22 parks. This is just the walkway, or the actual park rules signs. This other signs that we're going to be having are similar like this, and again, they're not going to be the metal signs. There'll be some of your regular square signs like your picnic shelters. They'll have your rules, still have your QR codes, and then we're looking at like the dog park rule sign, skate park rule sign, but adding a little bit something in there so it looks like a dog bone or a skateboard. So we want to have it a little bit more fun at the parks. So I'll go back to this slide right here. So as the way these are made, if you go into a national park or a zoo or the signage that they have there, it's similar to that. So that's what it would be material-wise that was there. But the recommendation we're looking at is what you guys would recommend, or what we're asking is what your recommendation would be for these signage. If you'd like these, and we can move forward to start producing these signs. We're going to do all 22 parks, and then moving forward, it'll be the exact same sign that we put at every park. The only different will be that top map. So the larger parks will have that map and everything that's address on there. The smaller parks, say like Kai Thomas or some of those, may not have that map on there. You can see the whole thing, but it will have the address or the park rule sign. So we're open for discussion if you guys have any comments for the signs or any questions.
Okay, commissioners, Ms. Tremblay.
I was just curious. I know this isn't necessarily what your information you're wanting from us, but is there any like ADA, whether it be like Braille or anything that will be on there for people who may have difficulty reading, or?
We have not put that on there, but we could definitely look into that. That's a really good idea. So the signage will be, usually is off, it's not in the walkway. So it's in a planter, so it's out of the way for people to be able to, so they don't run into it. It has to be a certain height in that. But with the braille and everything, that's could change where we're putting it. I'll definitely look into that.
Either that, or even if it's like a button where they can hear, because for even people who are illiterate or can't read. But always think of my son, for example. He's not the best reader at 8, so a lot of things he's like, oh, I don't know what that says. Especially for like the skate park one, where children may go, but they may not necessarily be able to read all of the words on there and still get the idea.
That's an excellent idea, though.
Thank you. Commissioner Peterson?
Yeah, I just wanted to know what the lifespan would be for this type of material.
So these have a 10-year warranty on it, from fade, cracking, or any of that. That's the warranty that we have on it. They're obviously recommended they last up to 15 years, before that. But that's why their warranty obviously is going to go around the time, depending on the weather, where they're located. So we're looking at about 15 years, 10 to 15 years, depending on the location of them.
Excuse me, how many signs per park? Does it depend on the size of the park?
Depends on the size of the park. So total, we're doing 235 signs. And that's anywhere from your smaller 12 by 12 sign all the way up to the 24 by 36 signs. So there's multiple different signs, but it's over 200 signs.
For the 22 parks?
For the
That's
22 parks.
About 10 signs per park?
Correct. We could use Audie Murphy, for example. We'll probably have, I believe it's 4 of these because of the size and different entrances to the park of these park rules, just like Underwood. There was 3 that we were going to have there. But then if you have a smaller park that's like Silver Star Park, we'll probably have 1. Actually, Silver Star, it has 2 on there. But that, depending on the size of the park, I hope that gives a good explanation of how many signs.
And would they be by the parking, by the driveways or the parking lots, or would they be by the walkways?
They'll be by the walkways going in, so depending on if the park has a parking lot or not. So as you park your car, the entrance into the park from there, this is where the signage will be. Right now, some of them are on restroom buildings, their street pole, or the walkway light poles. So they're in the same areas, so that way everybody will see them. But they're putting them on their own pole, so they'll be in a planter right next to that walkway. So you can't say I didn't see the sign.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I like the seal, going back, having the City of Menifee seal. I like the address for safety, that people can know, hey, this is where I'm at if there's an emergency. I prefer the sculpted sign with the one on the right I don't know if anybody had any other comments about that. And I like the idea of the map, where, this is where all the amenities are, and especially the shelter numbering system too. So when people are planning an event or something, they can go down there and say, oh yeah, okay, this is number 3. That's the one I want to get when I make my reservation. I love the QR code for more information as well. And the color scheme, I assume, fits with the city's kind of general color palette, and for future upgrades to signage and monuments in the city. Bill?
Is the park ranger hotline number, would that be on the signs?
That'll be on the signs, correct, yeah. So it'll be on the bottom. It'll actually have our community services number. It'll probably most likely have the police department and then our park ranger sign, our number that's on there. Also on that QR code, it'll have different phone numbers and different contacts on that website. That's what we're working on. So if you're looking, maybe it's not just here you want to do, but there's something else that you might be able to find it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Would it be possible to have some type of a title or, some note next to the QR code to say, hey, this is for extra information or contact information, or, you know what I mean? Just so that if I walk up and I see the QR code,
To learn more.
What is it? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's another good idea, because I can see on the one with the curve right now, as I know what it is, I know what the QR code is for, but if you're just seeing it for your first time and it's just a QR code, what is it for, So that's a good idea. Absolutely, we could add that into it. So what's on there right now, some of the verbiage and everything, that we've gone through that, but we'll edit what's going to go on that verbiage, but we could definitely add something that says, yeah, what the QR code, explain it, scan this QR code if you're looking for so-and-so.
And also, I do like the curved design. I think that's really
Thank you.
kind of nice.
Great. Commissioner Sanchez?
I think I'm outnumbered. I like the square one.
I think you are outnumbered. But thank you. This is great. And so you've got our feedback. It sounds like majority wants the curve. We like all the other design elements. And if you can look into the ADA type of
Absolutely.
options there and explanation of what the QR code will do for you.
And we have where it says approved permits required. We'll add the line in there that'll explain scan this QR code. So it's hard to see on the PowerPoint that's right there, but it kind of gives some of the rules that are there. So that's exactly where we'll put it. So if you have any questions, we'll be able to put for information, scan the QR code.
And you mentioned on a smaller park, you may not include the map.
Correct.
What would you put in that space?
It would just be it'll just be the sign and the address with the seal on
Okay,
there. So it would
just be a smaller-
Exactly. You'll remove that. The smaller park, so similar to Mayfield Park, you can stand and see the whole park. With the map, it's hard. There's one shelter, so it's not. There's not multiple shelters there, so you can kind of see the whole thing. So the map really isn't needed.
Okay. All right. Anything else would you like from us on that then? Is that enough feedback for you?
I think that's
to
that's
go
definitely
forward?
plenty of feedback, and we'll look in definitely for the ADA, for the Braille or anything, and maybe there's a different sign that we add somewhere else for that if we can't have it on this sign. So we'll definitely look into something for that.
Super, thank you. Okay. All right, moving on. Number 9, Community Service Department comments. 9.1, Director comments. Ms. Kramer.
Good evening, Commission. It's great to be with you this evening. Just wanted to give you a few updates to what to anticipate following our recent elections that took place this week. Riverside County is required to certify their election results by December 5th, so that we anticipate that we would receive those results at that time. While we don't anticipate them to be received earlier, it is possible, but generally we receive it in that early December timeframe. The city is then required to certify those results before our next regular meeting, which will be taking place on December the 18th. There will be a special meeting either on the 18th or in close proximity to that timeframe where they'll certify the election and allow the new elected officials to take office. And then the newly appointed council representatives and mayor will appoint commission and committee members at the January 15th council meeting. So just to give you a sense of timing of what to anticipate, we will still be accepting applications for those that are interested in continuing to serve or members of the public that would like to serve on any one of our commissions or committees up until November the 22nd of this year for appointments. And then the other thing we wanted to share with you is the property tax finder that is available now on the city's website. This was highlighted at the council meeting last night, and just wanted to share that with the commission for easy access for tax information about your property and what taxes you pay and where those resources do go. So that's all that I have for this evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions, commissioners? Okay.
All right, excellent.
All right, then we'll move forward to 9.2, Parks in Progress update. Bryce.
Got to push the button. So I don't have too much updates on this. Valor Park, which was on there, I actually removed the slide since we already were discussing it earlier on in the presentation. So the only 2 updates would be Cimarron Ridge and Valor Park are the only ones that are going to be in construction sooner than later. We will be, in this next calendar year, we'll definitely have those 2 parks ready for the public to use. So both of those are being built by Pulte Homes, 2 different developments on 2 different sides of the city. But if you have any questions for any of the parks in progress, but that's all I have for you on those.
Any questions, Commissioners? Peterson?
Yeah, I've just got a quick question. Is Menifee Valley, is that the final name of the park up there?
No, so that's just the development. So that hasn't been named. We don't know what the development will be named.
Okay, so that has no name at all for any of it? It's just
Correct.
Menifee
It'll
Valley.
just be,
Okay.
as of right now, Menifee Valley is the development name for that project, the project name. I don't want to say that I don't know the name of it as of now, so.
Got it, thank you.
But we can I'll definitely look into it, but Menifee Valley is not the name of the the community as of right now.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments, questions? No questions. Then we'll move forward to 9.3, solid waste and recycling. Ms. Jones.
Good evening. So just some quick updates on solid waste and recycling activities. October was a pretty busy month. As I mentioned in the previous meeting, October marks the statewide initiative for California Clean Air Day. So we kicked off in Menifee, California Clean Air Week, where we had several events and some online promotion. We did an event for staff, which was well attended. We also were pretty happy with the interactions that we received from our social media campaign during that week. We received over 45,000 views for several posts that were related to that. We had 685 likes, 932 shares, and 80 comments. So I think we're successful in getting the word out. We also had a Menifee Recycles public outreach booth at the Day of the Dead event, and we had about 200 attendees there. We also have had our consultant, Aptum Environmental, focusing on outreach last month to our multifamily properties, and this is to assist property managers and property owners of apartment buildings to educate their tenants on requirement to sort their recyclable materials. So, so far, 9 properties have requested additional materials and outreach from our staff, which accounts for about 1,500 homes. So that's being pretty well received as well. If anyone has any contacts at the school district, we do have grant funding currently available to provide eco-hero assemblies at schools, and those are really fun, dance-filled, music-filled assemblies for kids to learn about recycling and being good stewards of the planet. Please save the date for our next bulky item drop-off event, which will be Saturday, November 16th at the Sun City Civic Association. This will be a smaller neighborhood event, so no mulch, no e-waste or tires. We're just accepting your regular run-of-the-mill bulky items. So we do anticipate that those bins will be full prior to noon, so please arrive early. And then just to highlight our diversion and litter abatement program, we routed 29 illegally dumped bulky items during the month of October, and we also, through our litter abatement partnership with Waste Management, we're able to collect 0.4 tons of litter along city routes. And we've recently coordinated with our Public Works team because they have an Adopt a Street program to make sure that we aren't duplicating efforts on city streets. So we have a pretty good understanding now of where all the efforts are being placed, so we can reach more square feet. And that's my update.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. How do people learn about the Adopt a Street program?
I believe there's information online on the city website.
There is an application on the city's website.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Jones?
I have a question about the
Yes.
illegally dumped. Is there a place where it's more common that people go dump in the city?
Yeah, so every year, and that's what pretty much this determines our litter abatement partnership routes with WM. We'll look at a GIS layer of where the majority of our complaints have come in over the last 12 months. Most of the time, we'll see like Briggs Road, where we have like more undeveloped streets. Anytime you have like just open field space, a lot of cul-de-sacs that'll end, to a dirt road. A lot of times those tend to be pretty popular dumping sites. So we do try to monitor those things and, always encourage residents that if they do see that activity happening to try to record or get a license plate, because we will, report that if we can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move forward then with 9.4 Recreation Division update. Ms. Mitchell.
All right, so moving on to the fun stuff. We've got a Recreation Division update. October was an extremely busy month for us. So we had a host of special events, those including our Fall Festival, well, starting off with Clean Air Day, as Ms. Jones had mentioned earlier, then our Fall Festival, and our Day of the Dead event the following week. So you can see some of our participation numbers have increased because of those events. Our Fall Festival keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. People keep showing up earlier and earlier, but we're happy to be able to provide this quality program for them. Moving on to some of our revenue information. As you can see, contract classes, again, leads our revenues in registration fees. And then this month, you'll see a jump in our city sports leagues because we have started accepting registration for our youth basketball program, which is very popular. So again, still accepting registration for that. But we're happy to be able to, again, provide these quality programs at reasonable prices, considering what is available to our residents. And talking about some of those recreation programs, our Case Sarah Senior Center has a number of items that happen on a daily basis, but some of the things that we want to highlight is the month of November. On Thursday, November 21st, we will be hosting our VA aid benefits information booth. So we'll have representatives from VA aid to come out and work with anybody who's interested in asking questions about how to get support or resources from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then also Family Services Association, which is the provider of our senior congregate meal program, will be hosting their annual Thanksgiving lunch on Friday, November 22nd, during the regular lunch hour, 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. And it's a really popular meal, so encourage anybody who's interested in attending to please sign up early because, again, FSA does a really great job at providing delicious hot meals to our seniors for relatively low cost or no cost. Again, wanting to talk about the youth basketball program, we are still accepting registrations through the end of this week. We do have a few waiting lists in some of these divisions, but we are encouraging people to sign up for the wait list because we actually, the more people we get on the wait list, the more likely we're able to get them off of the wait list and onto a team. So we would like to be able to have enough teams to be able to play against each other in each of the different divisions, which kind of determines our waiting list. So for $85, the Youth Basketball League is a really great opportunity for anybody who's interested to just learning the skills, playing on a team, and get to be presented here hopefully once the conclusion of the season. Our youth programs at Lazy Creek are in full swing. We have a couple things coming up for Thanksgiving break and winter break. There's a number of periods where students are out of school, and Lazy Creek is here to help with that. For parents who are looking for camps during those off times, Lazy Creek has a number of options that are available at nominal prices, and these camps do also include the extra option of an additional field trip as well. And then last but not least on here, we have our annual Thanksgiving Meals for Menifee, which is a joint effort with the Interfaith Community Services Council and the City of Menifee to offer Thanksgiving meals for anybody who needs one. We do have 2 seatings that, and it's first come, first serve. We encourage anybody that is interested or just doesn't have anywhere to go to please come on out and join us at the Case Sarah Senior Center. Reservations are actually available now for anybody who's interested in that. And I believe that concludes my report for recreation.
Let's move forward to special events then.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, I have a
Yes,
quick
I'm
question. Sorry.
Yes.
Are there volunteers needed for the Thanksgiving dinners?
We are always open to volunteers, and so if you're interested, please feel free to reach out to the Case Sarah Senior Center, and they can get you in touch with our volunteer coordinator for that event.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we'll move forward to 9.5.
All right, special events. Coming up this next Monday on Veterans Day, we'll be hosting our annual Veterans Day ceremony at Hidden Hills Park. For anybody who doesn't know where Hidden Hills is, it's down by the Gail Webb Action Sports Park, located off of Evans Road and Quilt Way. And the ceremony is scheduled to start at 10 a.m. and we'll have a number of speakers and resource booths available, art displays, and a flyover at 11:11. So we encourage everybody who's interested to please come out and join us and celebrate with our veterans. Next up, we have our annual Trot for a Cause Fun Run and 5K. It is $10 to register for this event on Saturday, November 23rd. The run is scheduled to start at 9 a.m., but there'll be family fun fitness activities taking place at Santa Rosa Academy until 12 p.m. So even if you're not a runner, but you want to come on out and support the community cupboard, you can please, we invite everybody to come on out and bring out some donations, canned goods, dried goods for the holidays, and participate in some of the fun activities that we'll have on hand. So far, we are doing really good with registration. We actually have over 70 people pre-registered, so I think the word's getting out on this. And then Lazy Creek Recreation, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be offering their Thanksgiving break camp from November 25th through the 27th. And again, looking to help out any families who need assistance with childcare during that week while kids are out of school. And their optional field trip is to Airtopia. Moving on right into Christmas, it's right around the corner. We've got our Extreme Light Fight coming back. Applications are going to be open November 22nd with winners announced December 19th. All of that can be available online at the city's website, and then we hope that people sign up for that. That's also becoming a very popular attraction during the winter holidays. And then we have our upcoming Christmas tree lighting event on Saturday, December 7th, which is going to be taking place at MSJC starting at 4 o'clock. And this, of course, all of the same fun attractions. We'll have the snow zone, all the community craft vendors. We'll have the mini train ride, as well as our community parade taking place. And so we encourage anybody who's interested in participating in the parade to please visit our website, fill out an application. It's great for our local nonprofits and organizations to kind of get the word out in some of the programming. So we hope to see you guys there. And then the following week, we'll have our Breakfast with Santa on Saturday, December 14th with a number of seatings. So with the first one starting at 8 a.m., there's 3 separate seatings. It is $12 per person. Children 2 years and younger are free. And this is a great opportunity to come on out, get your picture with Santa, listen to some fun music, and have breakfast. So encourage everybody to sign up early. The 9:15 tends to be the most popular time, with spots at 8 a.m. probably the last to fill. So encourage you to sign up quickly if that's something you're interested in, because it does tend to sell out. And then we also have the return of our Santa on Wheels, so making visits in and around Menifee, December 16th through the 20th. And we encourage anybody who's interested in this to please give us a call, sign up early. Time slots are limited, and it is a 15-minute time slot, 15-minute visit for $40. And Santa can handle up to 20 participants. But we encourage anybody who's interested to please give us a call, and we're happy to talk through that with you. But I believe that concludes my report on the upcoming special events.
Thank you so much. At the Fall Festival, for the Fun Zone, the City of Menifee and the Community Services waives the, they allow, instead of charging residents to use the Fun Zone, they ask for donations to that support the Alternatives Domestic Violence Center. And I'd like to report that $1,100 was collected for the Alternatives Domestic Violence Center. And so we're grateful to the city and community services for allowing those fees instead of going back into the budget to go towards that worthy cause.
If I'm sorry, if I can add to that, for our tree lighting, we do something similar.
Yes.
For the snow zone, instead of charging a fee for people to participate in the snow zone, we ask for a donation to the Santa's Workshop or to the community cupboard, which will be will be accepting on site as well. So again, trying to support our local nonprofits during the holiday seasons.
So non-perishable food items for the cupboard or for the workshop, it would be like unwrapped toys?
Unwrapped toys.
New, unwrapped new toys.
Yes.
Awesome. That is just wonderful. Any other comments or commissioners?
I actually have a question going back to 9.3 for the Eco Hero show. First off, how long is that assembly, the show itself?
It's 45 minutes.
45 minutes, okay. And is it possible to do back-to-back? You know, if a school wanted to take, you know, half their students, put them in one, and then have another show?
Yes, yes. As long as it's on the same day, Eco Hero can accommodate that.
Awesome, thank you.
Quick question, for the extreme light fight, how early will the list of homes come out? When will we get the list of homes for that extreme light fight?
I believe we're planning on the winners being announced on December 19th.
But the list of the actual homes that are going to participate?
Well, applications open on the 22nd.
Okay.
And then once that is reviewed and they select the winners, that's when the winners will be announced.
Got it, got it. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, I wanted to ask, since we're on special events still, the Day of the Dead is actually traditionally it's like the first weekend in November, 1st or 2nd. Are we avoiding that date just so we don't interfere with family events, or is there a reason why we don't have it on that weekend?
There are some rather large regional events in the area that have been established for
competing
quite some
against.
time, and so we really don't want to compete with those.
Okay.
The nearest one, City of Riverside has one that's been going on for about 20 years, is now a 2-day event, and so I think for us, this is, I want to say this is my 4th year with the Day of the Dead event here, and it's grown every year.
It sure has. Yeah,
And
it's
I
an
think
awesome event.
we want to give people the option to do something here and then elsewhere if they wanted to.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on special events, commissioners? Okay, then let's move to 9.6, Capital Improvement Program Update. Mr. Howell.
Okay. I have a few updates. So the park lighting, we started installing the lights this week, actually. It started digging the footings and actually installing the actual light bollards at Kai Thomas. The pump track, we submitted for the footing detail for the pump track and parking lot lights, so I'm hoping to receive those next week back. We had to get them engineered, stamped, so I should have those back next week, and we'll start right away as soon as I have that permit approved. You guys went over the park and right away signage. We'll move forward on those ones that are there. La Ladera Park, as you know, we completed that, and then, the parking lot, and then same with the dog park expansion. So the biggest project that we have going on is the amphitheater. As you can see, we've completed the steel on the back structure wall, so that's the storage wall. It won't be, the concrete won't go on that for another couple more weeks, but next week on Tuesday, we'll be pouring the planter wall that's in front of that, and both pilasters, or the pillars, so the east and west pillars that'll actually hold the beams for the amphitheater. So that gets poured next Tuesday. So it's moving along. On the back side of this, it looks like it's a bunch of steel. That's a lot of weight. So what's going to take over the next couple weeks is the forming that's going on the back side of that to be able to hold up the structure while they put the concrete on, because it's going to be a lot of weight. They'll also be putting up scaffolding because of the height of it. So once they get that concrete on there. But the amphitheater is moving along pretty well. I know it's a long progress. It's a specialty project, but it's definitely on track, and we're moving along real well. But that's all I have for CIP projects, but if you guys have any questions for any of these.
Commissioners, questions on CIP? Mo?
Yeah, it's not really related to, but why is it that some of the lights are purple or pinkish looking?
Are you talking,
Yeah,
so?
the parking lots.
So what it was is a manufacturer, the deficiency on the light, but it's out of warranty. So we're looking at that. I know Peterson Park has that. We're going to be changing those out. We're looking into what fixtures we want to put into that. So that's what it was. It's just
Okay.
a Menifee. It's out of warranty, so we weren't able to do it, but it turned like definitely a purple color that's on there. But
Thank you.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yeah, I have a question. I mean, it's a little bit of a bridge between capital improvement, but also the field allocation policy. So I heard that there are nonprofit organizations that have offered the city to install lights on our parks in exchange for a 2 or 3 year, essentially an exclusive, let's say Monday through Thursday, afternoons for them, right?
I've never heard that. I've never heard of that. Any organizations paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for lighting to get a field allocation, but definitely not here for the city. We have not had that, no.
Okay, let's see here. We might want to, let me see. I have to put my code in for Face ID. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so if we have, let's see, who is this? Jeanette Deliano.
Okay.
She received an email a few days back of a request essentially stating that they would, the nonprofit would install lights in
If that-
exchange for, and the issue was the field allocation policy essentially is not okay with that.
It hasn't been brought to my attention or our attention yet, but we'll definitely look into that, so.
Okay, that would be great, only because when we're talking about lights, the time change, pretty much it takes about 65% of our Menifee multipurpose fields out of commission during the week. For anybody, after afternoon hours, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever. I mean, that's 65% of our multipurpose fields that just are gone.
And someone might have emailed in, but we'll definitely follow up on that, and we'll stick to our policy that we have. We're not going to rearrange anything just for that. What council wants, and we're going to follow exactly what council and the policy states. Our recreation teams are going to get priority. Our residents are going to get priority, especially the nonprofit recreational teams.
Okay. And so let me ask you this, Bryce. When we do, we don't shut down the fields when it gets dark, but when it gets dark and the fields are unusable, and everybody goes to Centennial or, I mean, I can't even think of another park, a multipurpose field that has lights, but when everybody goes to another field that has lights, does that actually impact those fields in a way where it's difficult for you guys to get everything back going again in the spring, or?
The amount of use that's on all the fields, even without the lighting, even during the day, our parks are heavily used. So yes, but we're looking at ways, different turf that we're putting in at fields. Just like Underwood Park, we're going to be shutting that field down for a month. We're actually going to resod it with a different type of sod that's going to recover faster. It's better for that recovery of sports, of football and soccer that's on there. But it's either we shut them down or we let them be used. We're not the only city. It's every single city deals with the same thing. There's only so much time that could be used on those fields and so much recovery time. But it does help. It does hurt for maintenance-wise, but we look into it and we shut it down when we need to. But that's, like I said, we're going to be shutting down fields for a month at a time or when we resod or do anything like that.
Okay. So having lights, let's say if we had all of our multipurpose fields lit, would
It
that
would help tremendously,
Okay.
yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Which CIP is, we
Correct.
have a 5-year plan to.
We have a 5-year plan, and that's in there to look for lighting. Any new sports field parks that are coming on is going to have lighting. Lagada will have lighting. Cimarron Ridge will have lighting. We're looking at Laladera Park with the ball fields there that we're working on the design right now for the lighting and adding that extra ball field there. So we're looking into grants for other type of lighting with Musco right now. We're applying for grants, but every single park that we have coming in, if it's going to be a sports field like that, it will have lighting.
Thank you. A couple questions, Bryce. Could we include Paloma Wash Bridge in our CIP updates each month?
Absolutely. I'll get an update on that. It's out to bid for construction. So it's being manufactured. Obviously, the bridge itself is already being built. It'll get shipped over, but I'll get an update on that, and I'll present that next month.
Thanks, yeah, and just having it on the list each month too would be
Yeah, so
awesome.
so what I'll do is I'll actually add just so you guys have a timeline for not just the bridge, the amphitheater, and then the parking lot as well. You know, it's all,
sure.
they're three
All
different
interconnected.
projects, but they'll all be used together, so I can bring that in for next month. That way you guys have an update for it.
That'd be awesome. Also, I'd like to request too, maybe in the spring when the Central Park Amphitheater's a little more farther along, and we're possibly going to have new commission members as well too, request a tour, parks tour.
Absolutely.
For our commissioners as well. It's been a while since we've done that, and we've got a lot of new parks and a lot of parks planned, and by spring some in construction. So
Springtime, there'll be a lot more going on as well there, the larger, the timber and everything, and also the bridge, so there might be a good time to be able to kind of tour all of that together, so
that would be wonderful.
absolutely.
Okay, you want to roll into 9.7, Maintenance Division Report?
Yeah, so we had 364 work orders submitted for our parks and right-of-ways, 108 for our facilities. We have 13 submitted over by residents, and then we actually have 40 in progress. So we've had a lot of things that we're waiting on. We just started planting a few areas, and as soon as we finish, we have our contractor going through. We had some vandalism, some from wall caps, things like that. We've got those about 75% already repaired over this last week. So a lot of those work orders will be closed out again. We have had, over in the month of October, we had 350 trees trimmed by our contractor, and then we also did 120 inspections combined for all of our parks. So as you can see on these two maps, our park maintenance obviously is going to be the highest one. Park maintenance includes, maybe I could split it up, but it includes anything from bench repair to dragging the ball field, prepping a soccer field, any of that. You can see the three largest parks, the Spirit Park, Centennial Park, and Audie Murphy Park. They have the most work orders. They are our larger parks, so they're heavier used than some of the other parks. So if anybody's been at Spirit Park, so what we're doing, we're working heavily on replanting the park. We're working through park to park and some right-of-ways as well. But this last 2 weeks, we've had a lot of staff there. We've planted replaced over 20 trees, and then we've planted over 700 plants. Some of them are smaller. They'll grow in. We get them, a little bit cheaper cost. When they're a little smaller, it's worth it to wait a year or 6 months for it to grow in, on saving that they will grow in. But we are doing that. And we're also working heavily with our staff. This is just a training that we did with our irrigation training. We're putting them through over the next couple months. So these are just updates with our CalSense that we use our controllers, but we're working with a couple of our vendors that are coming in. Next week, we have another vendor coming in, and we're with just strictly irrigation. So we're trying to increase the knowledge of our staff for irrigation capabilities and everything. As everything improves and it develops as we get bigger, it's just better for them to relearn things as things change or any of that. So I just wanted to give an update on both of those. Also with the park rangers, so we had 730 park visits in the month of October. So as you can tell, we had both rangers riding together. We have the new ranger, Lewis, that was there, but we were able to split up right now. So he's more in the evening, so we're able to get more park visits into the evening time and then into the morning time. We had 1,300 school outreach that we did. So we went to Mesa View Elementary School. We the Rangers met with the fourth graders there, and then they did that Tuila Elementary School, the Red Ribbon Week, so they met with the whole school there, and then Romaland Elementary School, and they met with the first and second graders at there. So we're seeing a lot of more use of that, and that QR code that's there. So the Rangers are loving it. The kids are really enjoying it. We're trying to see if it's going along with the education that's going on with the class. We're teaching it's obviously habitat conservation, what Menifee is doing to protect habitat, what you can do as a California to protect any of the habitat. And then they bring their nature items that their exhibits and everything, animal furs or things of that such to the school. So the kids are really enjoying it. But we have had an uptick of that, which is awesome, to be able to do that. But that's all I have for maintenance division update. If you guys have any questions.
Any questions, commissioners? Is Spirit and reclaimed water?
Yes, it is.
And are most of our parks are now, or is it kind of all the new ones at least?
All the new ones are reclaimed water. As long as there's a reclaimed water line, I believe we have three or four that are still potable. The older parks that are there, Hidden Hills even is. It's still connected to it has purple pipe and everything underlined until EMWD connects down Evans Road to that water line. It won't be considered recycled water. So eventually, in the next couple of years, they'll connect that, and as soon as they do, that'll help us. But we're paying potable rates. But most of our parks are recycled water, which helps.
And you had that slide on irrigation training and stuff, and I know reclaimed water sometimes poses some challenges because this dissolves solids and
it does. Definitely cleaning filters. It's the more you use it, the more you learn on it. EMWD has it a lot. It is a lot cleaner than a lot of other areas. But I mean, and I can get some more information definitely from EMWD if we ever wanted to have that. But we have our site supervisors. We're actually doing a site supervisor training again with recycled water next week. But yeah, we do work a lot with recycled
and some
water.
plants respond better to reclaimed water than
Correct.
others because of the salinity.
And it's not just us. We're learning other municipalities and areas. We're learning what plants that do a little bit better with them. There's a high salinity in some of it that the plants aren't doing as well that have grown in this region for years. But on recycled water, just rosemary, for example, if we have a little break or something chews the pipe and it floods that area, if it's recycled water, it'll kill it. It'll kill the plant. If it rains and floods the same planter, the plant will survive. So it's just it's different. We're learning. Our plant palette's kind of shrinking a little bit, but it's definitely better for the water savings, I guess, for recycled water.
And it saves the city money too.
Correct.
The recycled water as well.
Yeah, and then we did 6 months ago, maybe it's been close to a year, where we turned La Ladera Park into recycled water. So that is a recycled water site as well, and that's a larger park. Uses a lot of water on that. So
excellent. Thank you. Okay, let's go on to 10.0 Commissioner reports on committee activities or other events. Any commissioners want to report anything they've been doing this last month? Go ahead. Commissioner Peterson's always active.
Okay, let's see here. So Bark in the Park, we'll start with that one. Took a couple of my dogs down there, and we actually had a lot of fun. It's their first time going to a park in general, so I'm sure it was pretty exciting for them, but they enjoyed it. They were a little timid at first. They liked to have their leash on to go and run through the little things. The one thing that I've heard from multiple residents, though, since the park reopened, is that the dust from both of the two areas is a little bit excessive. So, but beyond that, very cool, the big dog park and the little dog park. Then we have obviously the Fall Festival and Dia de los Muertos. Both of those events were held at MSJC, and we're very grateful to have them to allow us that opportunity. They've got a beautiful campus there, and those two events obviously are, starting off, they really kick off the holiday season, this is event season for Menifee, and it really gets going from here. Also the State of the City, I don't remember what day that was, but that was also at MSJC. And I'm really jealous of that field they've got with those beautiful lights. They've got an amazing campus, and I'm really grateful to have that school in our city. So, and I think that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Commissioner. I was able to attend the Clean Air event on October 5th, and that was awesome, and it seems to be growing. I also attended Fall Festival as well, and attended the another event that supported, I think, by community service, but it was the Faith in Blue event that was held at the Senior Center on October 5th. That's an annual event with faith-based and community-based and the Menifee Police Department. And this year they were supporting Milvet to prepare care packages for active duty veterans. It was a fun event to be part of. Missed out on Bark in the Park and Day of the Dead, but I was able to watch the State of the City from home. Any other comments, Commissioners? Bill?
Yeah, the Menifee Teen Awards Committee met, and we selected 3 students, high school students, academics, athletics, and citizenship, and they'll be recognized at the November 20th City Council meeting. And I also attended the Clean Air Day event and was very impressed with what was going on. Thank you.
We visited the Fall Festival and also the State of the City. Fall Festival was great. We got there a little late, but really enjoyed it. I have an 8-year-old daughter who loved it. Food is great. Went to the State of the City. Saw a few of you there, or I saw you. Trunk or treat. My church put on a trunk or treat, and we had people who don't normally go to our church. They all came out, and that was a lot of fun as well.
Thank you for those reports. So under future item requests, we have active transportation program review, Heritage Park December, review field and facility use fees in March, and forgive me, I forgot what we were going to do with the active transportation program review.
Yes, I have some additional information to provide.
Okay. Thank you.
So if I can get the PowerPoint back up. At the last meeting, there was a question about bikeways and how they're integrated into future infrastructure or infrastructure that's being planned. And so I wanted to be able to provide some information that was provided by our Public Works Department and Engineering Department, who utilize a number of tools when it comes to developing their plans. Some of these things are large-scale plans, like our general plan, and more specifically the circulation element that kind of gives us an opportunity to kind of review and take a look at how bikeways and pedestrians and people get about the city. So that's really a long-term plan, something that's been in place for a while that gets updated every 10 to 20 years or so, unless there's a specific project that requires a specific update outside of the general plan. We also have the active transportation plan, which was completed in 2020, and the PRTC did have an opportunity to provide input on that plan when it was developed, simply because we're talking about getting people outside of their cars and either walking, biking, running, utilizing the trails and walkways and roadways in a safe and conducive way to get from one point of the city to the other. And then more recently, we have the Complete Streets Plan that was adopted in 2024 this year, that again is talking about kind of some of those missing elements to make sure there's safe walkways to schools, to libraries, to important gathering places throughout the city. So those are all things that kind of give Public Works and Engineering the opportunity to take a look at where the needs are. Each one of these plans at one point in time did go through like a needs assessment and identifying our current infrastructure and then where some of the gaps may be. And also one of the other things that Public Works had mentioned is that they also utilize the California Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which is a Caltrans document. It's rather lengthy, but again, that talks about the type of signage, the type of roadway designs and things of that nature to keep things conforming to industry standards. So those are some of the opportunities that they presented, or the items and tools that they presented as far as what determines where bikeways are added or where things are our priorities are identified by utilizing some of these plans. So I did want to also provide the fact that that the City of Menifee's Public Works website, so on cityofmenifee.us/Public Works, you can find both the active transportation plan as well as the Menifee Complete Streets Plan in its entirety. If you want to take a look at what some of those assessments have provided and the priorities that were identified, which are taken into consideration when we go through our annual CIP process. So lots of plans, lots of information, kind of goes into trying to identify what funding is available, and both of these plans actually help our department and our city become more competitive in the grant writing process when it comes to looking for additional funding for some of this infrastructure. And additionally, they had mentioned that looking at incorporating more of those green bicycle lanes, that seems to be one of the up-and-coming trends within the industry to ensure safe bike pathways for residents. So that's the information I wanted to give to the commission. And although the bikeways are and trails, well, trails in general may fall under some of our purview, bikeways and roadways typically don't, but wanted to make sure you had the information as requested.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. And keeping that slide up there, I received actually a petition from the Sun City Bicycle Club to asking us to consider more green painted bike lanes in the community. And also they specifically called out the bike lane on Bradley approaching the Salt Creek Trail from the south and a turn lanes at Rio Vista Drive and a safe bike connection there. I'd like to ask staff if they could make a copy of this for each of the commissioners and then keep a copy in there for staff as well too.
We can do that, Commissioner, and we can also share that information with our Public Works Department that will be implementing these types of enhancements to our bikeways.
Very good. Thank you so much. Any requests for new agenda items, commissioners? Okay. Then I will ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll move on that.
Second. Okay. Thank you very much for those participating in watching even at home. Thank you and have a wonderful holiday.